It happens again. Like I literally forgot to hit the go live, but again, right when I said I wasn't gonna do that. I mean, what in the world is going on, right? But nevertheless, I guess I'm doing too many things at once. But this your boy Humble Dad back with another edition of Humble Dad podcast. It's gonna be a great one. Why? Because I said so. You know, this weekend was Father's Day weekend as well as Juneteenth. And so, but most of the time that I celebrated was centered around Father's Day. You know, that's what I advocate for is for fathers and dudes doing their job and appreciate dudes to do their job. And one of the things that I had requested on my timeline on Facebook was for individuals to make sure that they gave a good shout out or appreciation for the fathers in the house or around them, and that's what we're going to talk about today: how to appreciate dads. But before we get started, the question is going to be, what's the worst haircut you ever had? And we're going to start with the hairdresser, Miss Dia.
Hey,
What's going on?
it wasn't a haircut. I when I was working in the salon, I bleached my hair,
Mm.
and my uncle was the owner of the salon, and he told me because he was a veteran stylist that my hair was gonna fall out. So I'm like, young, I want to do what I want to do, so I bleached it and I relaxed it at the same time. So I was creating a ponytail, and I sat under the dryer, and all of my hair broke off, like the whole ponytail. So that wasn't a haircut per se, but I had to improvise and create some hair. So that's what I did.
How long did it take to grow back?
It took years,
Oh,
but yeah, it was when I was probably maybe 22 then, so it was a long time ago. But I didn't care. I'm a stylist. I can create anything.
that's a
So
blessing.
it wasn't that big of a deal because I'm a hairstylist, but to somebody else, it probably would have been devastating.
That's what's up. Hey, we're gonna welcome to the stage Mr. Young. I know you ain't had no bad hair days, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, man, you done brought back some childhood trauma for me on tonight, humble dad. What growing up, they used to say I had BBs, roly polies, everything. Boy, I had some nappy hair. That's why I grew my hair now.
For real. So what was your
Yeah, I
worst
was like,
hairstyle?
worst hairstyle. My mom used to pay for my cut, so she was like, "You gonna get that bald fade?" But then she took me to the barber that nobody sat in the chair. He gave me one of more bold fades, so it was a bold straight around, nothing but a line, no fade, no nothing. And boy, they roast me.
Dang. Oh, I can't wait to tell y'all mine. I think I had a few. And I'm sure this young fella, you know what I'm saying, he been going bald for a while. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Prototype.
What's going on,
Chilling. What you got, bro?
man? So I used to have dreadlocks. So that ugly stage and growing dreadlocks, that was the like this was before it was popular. So you gotta think back '02. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So '02, I'm growing my hair and we sitting in the student union and boys got a whole clown session on me like, what you doing with your hair, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm growing dreads. And everybody just busted out laughing. Like it was funny as heck. That was before it was popular, but
So you were doing it before Wayne?
yeah.
Everybody tried to do it after Wayne did it.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna
I'm not
welcome
a
to
Wayne
this.
fan, so
You're not a Wayne fan? That's surprising. Yeah. All right. Welcome to the stage, Mr. CJ.
Not a Wayne fan. What's
Yeah.
going on?
He should be a Wayne fan, CJ.
I don't think I can trust this brother's judgment anymore. I don't know.
We'll maybe talk about that on a different session. So
Right,
what you
right.
got on the question?
I got a couple situations. You feel what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Okay.
Um, I'll tell the one that upset me the most. So I used to have hair too, right? Believe it or not. Allen Iverson was my favorite player, so I always tried to get the braids like AI, right? My mama didn't feel like braiding my hair one day. Coincidentally, this was the first night I met my grandfather too, so it made it 10 times worse because I want to be a man. I meet my granddad and shit. So she puts the ponytail at the top of my head and the hair flowing at the back. And when I looked in the mirror at it, bro, I can't even explain to you how mad I was. I looked like Joanna Man or something. Like, it wasn't a good look, bro. So I remember I got my haircut that same night with some scissors and a little Target battery clipper. But yeah, I preferred that ugly haircut over love don't cost a thing hairstyle. So that was cool.
Dang. So that's the one. So what's another one? Because you said you had a few.
Yeah, I had two. So I was walking because the barbershop I used to go to was right down the street from my grandmama's house or whatever. So she gave me $20 to get my haircut. But me being wild and having basketball shorts on, I lost the $20 that got my haircut, right? So guy down the street named London was like, I'll chop you, bro. I'll make it look like, you got a haircut. So because if you lose money, you know how it go. You get your ass whooped, right? So I'm like, I said, all right, cool. So he cuts my hair with a shaver, like the joints you feel what I'm saying? He cut my hair and it had one blade on the joint, right? So he cut, you know what I'm saying? He gave me it wasn't bad though. Only thing that was bad was the line. But guess you can expect that cutting it with one razor, you know what I'm saying? But I had a cool little tape on the side, you know what I'm saying? He did pretty good for a 15-year-old with a shaver. So
That's what's up.
but I still got my ass whooped because my mama put it together. And
Dang it.
right.
So you lost twice.
Right. Horrible day.
That's what's up. Hey, we're gonna welcome none other than himself. R Dubs in the building. Ricky.
What's good, everybody? How y'all doing?
We're good. How are you, sir?
I'm all right. Thank you guys for asking. Thank you.
Absolutely. You got the question?
Yeah, worst haircut I ever had. I gave it to myself, man. It was back in when I was 13, 14, I taught myself how to cut hair. I wanted to be a little neighborhood barber or whatever. And nobody would let me cut their hair. So nobody let me practice on them. So I tried it on myself, tried to get a little fade. The first one ended up being a bowl cut. Y'all know how that go, right? Bowl cut.
Bowl.
Yeah, sir. It was disgusting. And the second time I did it, I went up too far, so I ended up having to cut all my hair off, and it wasn't attractive. So those are two words. I'm one of the guys that I'm glad I got good genetics to get hair because my hair is not one of those to be bald. So yeah. Those my two worst haircuts was done by me.
Man, I have a lot because I had the Gumby. I had the Corliss Williamson. I don't know if y'all remember Corliss Williamson. He played with Arkansas. He was like player of the year back when they won the championship in NCAA. Got some young folks on him. And he had this, like everything was bald, but he, where the part would go, if you had a lot of hair, then you have a part. But I had the opposite. I was bald, and then I had a strip of hair that would represent my part. That was very popular back then.
When was this?
When
was this?
I remember Clinton was at that game.
Yeah.
That's how old they talking about.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton was at the game.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I had a finger wave. That was nice, bro. And then I had in Texas or Dallas for sure. I had the booty haircut.
What the fuck?
I don't know if y'all know what the booty haircut is.
That's like the shag or the mullet, or you got the patch.
Oh yeah,
like that was the thing back in high school for sure.
I thought that was so weird. I seen that in Ohio too.
Yeah.
I thought I seen it the first time. I thought this dude had a bad haircut. Then I kept seeing it. I was like, oh, we ain't in Pittsburgh no more.
They do it in Memphis too, right now.
So yeah, I've had a few, man, and I started going bald like at 19, and so I just had low fades all the time. And then once it started receding really bad around 22, 23, I was like, I'm gonna try to hold on to it, and I couldn't. Then around 20, 30? That's when I went bald. So I've been bald ever since. Yeah, for sure. Well, thanks everybody for being here today. We're gonna first let's talk about Father's Day, and we'll get to how to appreciate dads. And let's see, shout out to some of the people in the chat. You got Combo and Chill,
my guy.
Then oh yeah, and then you got formerly Baby Zaddy BZ, and then somebody that's always in the building, Fishing to Fit. Shout out to y'all. Oh man, yes, the Dallas booty. I guess it was just connected to Dallas because when I went to to Houston. They was like, "What is that?" So I guess so. That's a bit. So we're gonna talk about how was your Father's Day? We're gonna talk. We're gonna have a Father's Day recap. So tell us about how did you spend your time on Father's Day, and we'll start with you, Prototype.
Man, man, I've been in Vegas since Monday. I mean, since Wednesday. I just came back this morning. You know what I'm saying? So it's I don't know if I'm allowed to tell y'all because I got to stay there. You know what I'm saying? But I spent my Father's Day in Vegas with the wife and the kids. We was actually I sent my kids away for the summer with their grandparents. They live in Cali, so they met us in Vegas and took them from there. And me and the wife did our thing the rest of the time. So yeah, so I had a great time, man. Stayed at Resort World, did all the sightseeing things. You know what I'm saying? Did the pool parties. You know what I'm saying? I still act like a young boy when I'm out. So you know what I mean? It is what it is.
So what's up? Who you got going next?
Let's go with Martavius.
Yeah, mine was sort of like a weekend. My brother and sister, they flew up here from Alabama and Atlanta. So first time in South Dakota. So we pretty much just celebrated just throughout the weekend. My sister cooked the whole weekend, which was crazy because she can throw down. So that good old Southern cooking and just hanging out with my fam. So that's pretty much what we did. And then they kind of brought the spouses and their kids. So we just really just hung out, man. And they loved it here, surprisingly. I'll go to I'll go to Ricky.
I'll spend my Father's Day just chilling with the wife and my daughter. My wife cooked dinner. Just another day, man. Like I don't worry about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I look for the day to day stuff, not the once a year stuff. So yeah, just chilling, man. Chilling, spend some time with my wife. Another day, man. Uh, well, fire, of course, fire 100.
Um, I worked. Got some double time. You feel what I'm saying? Um, I was supposed to get my daughter, but her mother decides that her time is more important than mine. So sat around waiting for a couple hours, didn't hear nothing. I went to handle my business because daddy got to keep making money to pay child support. So yeah, I left. So I didn't get to see my daughter that day, but it's all good because I mean I got her today, so it's cool.
Yes, what's up, dear? How did you spend it?
My husband taught me how to barbecue for the first time. So I spent it barbecuing the day before I prepared the sides. But that's how we spent it. Chilling after that.
So you put him to work, is what you're saying?
Well, he wanted to do that. He enjoys barbecuing. He didn't have to do it. Like he taught me step by step. So he made me do everything.
Oh,
Fire,
okay.
everything.
He's
So
trying to prepare you for the next Father's Day.
probably. All good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. For me, it was good. I was able to uh, for me, like going to churches, typically they don't honor Father's Day the same way, but the churches that I went to yesterday, they did a really good job of honoring the fathers. Um, at this one church, they had where you could throw a baseball, see how fast you could throw it. They had putt putt golf. They had beanbag toss, so you can have spend some time like right after church with your kids. So that was cool. The wifey bought me lunch, and then she drove me to go get my gift. And this is a gift that I've been wanting for like 4 or 5 years. She didn't know that though, and she ended up getting that, so that was cool. And then she made me steak. You know what I'm saying? It was steak, Brussels sprouts. Uh, my daughter made the cornbread, and it was something else I can't remember right now, but it was off the chain. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I had what was that? One of my favorite cakes is red velvet. a red velvet cake. You know, so it was good. So it was a really good day yesterday for me. So as we transition or continue the conversation, I want to know what's your thoughts on how fathers are represented in either society or how you see it. So the question is simple: how do you see fathers being represented in either the spaces that you're in or in society in general? And we'll start with Miss Dia.
I'll say in the collective, of course, particularly melanated men, I think are misrepresented because in my personal space, when my child was in school, it was more fathers, particularly melanated fathers, that participated in field trips, school activities. Like I was I'm a stay at home mom, so I was always at school, and there was plenty of melanated fathers that stepped up to the plate. Personally, I've had a lot of men in my life, so I don't agree with the collective consensus. I think it's part of the programming as far as demasculating men in general, but particularly melanated men. So I disagree with it. I don't subscribe to anything general as far as the programming is concerned. So I think it's negative, but we have to be aware enough to know what the truth is. And based on my relationship with my dad, he was everything to me. So like my first love. So and I had a great well, one of my mother was married 3 times, but I had two great fathers. So
That's good stuff. Who you got next?
CJ.
How do you see dads represented in society? Um, I I don't I don't think that the position of father is respected in today's society for real. And I can look at all races. Um, you have more Caucasian men today speaking out about like the Gillette commercial that was, what is it to be a man? Y'all give me just a second.
Pick up on that prototype.
So it's the sole purpose when why I even created the channel. You know what I'm saying? Because our voice is not out there, and what my anecdotal experience is a lot better. Like I don't know a deadbeat dad. Like every man I deal with in my circle, all handle business. We're all terrific fathers. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like when I hear people complaining about deadbeat dads or dads being this way or that way, I'm like, where are they at? Because I don't know any, like in my whole peer group, like I don't know any men that are not raising their kids. Like it's just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? So I don't, as far as how we're represented in media, media sucks. Every movie is trash for us. Like, you know what I mean? The media does not hold us to a positive light at all. But it's just so far gone from the truth that I just don't understand how the media could continuously do this kind of content, you know what I mean, without a fair representation. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I don't think we're represented very well. I hate that we look like chumps in every movie that comes out. Like it pisses me off. Like I stopped watching some movies. You know what I mean? And things that dads wouldn't even go for. Like they're making dads go for it, be extra soft and like tough and feminine at the same time. Like nobody's going for that. Like you know what I mean? So especially those cartoon Disney movies, like any kind of movie, like the dad is just never what who
I
you
am
would
at this
be
thing.
or what you could look up to, or even in the church, like you know what I mean. Like the church is not a good representation of fathers either. But I'm gonna let Ricky go ahead and spin because I know he about to go off.
Let's see they finish his thought.
Um, I pretty much agree with prototype 100%. That's kind of where I was going. I also got like an example, right? In my job, they did something for the fathers. I was shocked, right? But they gave away some tools which I desperately needed, right? Um, End up getting me a impact wrench. That's dope. But anyway, um, there was a young lady that told a group of guys that I work with at the job or whatever, Happy Father's Day. And she was like, y'all really should say Happy Father's Day to me, which is like shit I live for, right? At one point, like, but when she said it though, I didn't want to combat it. Like, I was really like, do we have to do this every year? You know what I'm saying? Like every year, bro. And she was like, no, seriously, if you ask my son who his father is, he'll say his mother. So far too often, dads are represented like that. We have to compete for a position that's rightfully ours. Now, do I? No. I just do what I'm supposed to do. It is what it is. I'm not expecting a whole lot from anybody because at the end of the day, I got a job to do. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Yesterday was not a good day for me. And it wasn't just because of the situation with my child's mother. It's just the vibe that I feel from women. It's like, damn, we can't have the day. It's not bad baby daddy day. You know what I mean? So yeah. Go to Ricky.
Maximum effort, minimum effect. That's how most fathers are viewed in the public, right? We mean so much, but affect so little, right? They tell us, hey, when the dad's around, a kid's more real rounded, blah 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 blah, right? But then when the kid becomes real rounded, it's like, hey, great job, dad. But like I said, your mom could be a crackhead, and the kid graduate high school. Mama did her job. Best mom in the world, right? But your mom left you with people for 10 years before you got to know your mom, right? Maximum effort, minimum impact. Dads are so important to things, right? Especially when they go bad, y'all. Especially when they go bad, right? When they go bad, whew, the reason why you in jail is because your daddy wasn't there, right?
Facts.
The reason why you don't listen is because your daddy wasn't here, right? The reason why you a wild boy, or why the young girl promiscuous, right? Just because your daddy wasn't here, right? But when the daddy there, it's like, hey, everything's just going the way it's supposed to go.
You know how that thing go. When it's not broke, nobody know. You know what I'm saying? It don't start hollering until it's broke.
All right. Squeaky wheel, what they say, don't nothing travel faster than bad news, right? All right. Like
Yep.
and it's the thing, right? For me, especially with Father's Day, like in all these days, all these supposedly days, right? Mother's Day, like this is I don't want to be rewarded for a job I know that I chose to do. Right? To me, it's like when you tell vets, thank you for your service. They knew what they did when they signed up, right? You signed paperwork. You knew what you signed up for, right? But what I'm saying is that you don't even have to show you like the way you buy your mother's gifts and take her flowers and take her out to breakfast whenever it's Mother Day. I don't need all that. Just give me the same reverence, right? Where's the same reverence? And it's sad when you really think about it. You know what I'm saying? But what can a man do but do his job?
Can I ask a quick question to the panel? Um, what do y'all think when y'all hear um you're a father, that's what you're supposed to do? Like what pops in your head when y'all hear that?
We'll let Montavious. Ricky, will you finish? Okay. Montavious, can you answer that?
Yeah, I mean, I agree on everything that the guys are saying, and I think just the fact that it's like an old narrative, just what they put out about dads and everything, like it's sold for so long, but now we're in this day and age where, like you see a commercial, you no longer see these type things, and I think they're trying to switch the narrative because you have platform that you actually have dads and fathers and guys getting on and actually speaking up about these things and really talking about some of the issues that's been going on for a long time. So for me, I think it's a narrative. How it's being represented now is a narrative that's trying to be switched, but it's going to take a lot of work. And I was trying to like put it in perspective to me, and it's almost like when you think about Lamar Jackson, he's doing something that nobody have ever did, represent himself. And he's man, he got MVP, he killed the league, and he's trying to get the highest dollar amount. But then you got all the analysts talking about him, talking bad about him, and you looking and you compared it to everybody else, and you're looking at the number, you're saying like, why are you saying this? Because he's doing something going against what you believe in, and that was selling at the time. The hot takes on him, and I think once he got that deal, you no longer hear anybody talking negative about him because he conquered what he wanted to do. He changed the narrative of that about sticking to the strip that he wanted to write. So I think as dads, when we continue to stick to that strip, we know what we're doing behind the scenes. And I go back to what Prototype said. When you look at like what's around you, like I coach my boys and like dads are everywhere. I basketball, football, baseball, you see the same dads coaching, showing up on the sidelines. They going, I have two boys playing, and it's a lot of other dads. We going back and forth doing so many other things, but it's not just sports. It's everything at the household too. So for me, I think it's a narrative that being rewritten. And I think ultimately it's because like there's more ways to get this information out. It's more ways for dads to be seen. They're no longer just having a job, going to work, coming back home, expecting a meal on the plate. They're doing so many other things. And at the same time, women are also doing so many other things as well. So I think the narrative is switching for both sides. And you do have some people stuck in that old mindset. My brother just came up, like I said, he's from Alabama. And we talk about some of those old things. And the first thing we said, same old, just different faces in different places. Like people died, people grown up, but you got some people with the same mindset still doing the same thing. And their kids are playing sports and their kids see what they're doing when they're not on the baseball field. So for me, it's almost like that generational pattern that I always talking about that is continuing to be rewritten. And for us, and just thinking back to the South, like that's just your dad. That's what he's gonna do. But then you got my brother. He's been to college. He's done these things, and he's raising his son in a different manner. But he's not just raising his son. He's bringing in these other kids as well. So, and he's not the only one doing that. So for me, I think I see it as dads, fathers, men are starting to rewrite the strip, and I think people are starting to see it from another perspective. And it's gonna take time. It's not gonna happen tomorrow. People still gonna show up and say and do and say like that's what you're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, that's just the truth of the matter. That's what you're supposed to do. So for me, I don't, like I said, I don't get mad. I don't argue with anybody. I continue to show up, understanding like only thing that I can change isn't within my household. If I continue to show up and continue to show up on things like this to inform people and show people, then I think we can continue to rewrite that narrative.
That's good. Welcome to the stage, Mr. Dwayne.
Yo, how y'all doing tonight?
Good,
Sorry,
bro.
late.
Listen, you consistent.
One more time?
You consistent.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I try.
Hey, so you gotta answer. You gotta answer this question, but the other previous question was, "What's your worst haircut?"
Oh man. See, worst haircut. I was cutting my own hair since I was like probably like 15, and I gave myself a 36-year-old lineup. Pushed it way back early on. Yeah. I had to shave it down real low. So you know that magic erase called 0.
For sure. That's what's up. All right. So you got the question. How do you see dads representing in society? I know you don't know on this one.
Yeah. No, we've been catching the L for a long time. Shoot. Yeah, that's just what it's been from a cultural standpoint, like from what we see in like the mainstream. But I think because it is our responsibility, I think there's men that are willing to step up because they know it's their role and they'll play their role. And there's nothing wrong with playing your role. You're not wrong playing your role. So in that, as for fathers, like they have a huge role, and I think society makes it easy to for them to forego that commitment and that responsibility. So just like Montavious was saying, like that's flip on that narrative. So it's I would say this: it's time for strong men to get a hold of that narrative again and not allow society to dictate that because what is it? Weak times or weak men create hard times. So in that sense, like, hey, we raising a whole bunch of they're demasculating men, if that's the word. Yeah, that's what they're doing in society now. So they're causing men not to be men. They're turning men into women.
That's what's up. So I'm trying to think about which question I want to go to in regards to the statements, because is it important to know where it started or how we can fix it? Does it make sense? Like, do we need to know how did we get here first, or since we are here, should we talk about some solutions? So we'll do it like this. Where are some? So we always talked about society, but more specifically, where do you see that this narrative against fathers may have started? Okay, that's the question. Where, and I'm just coming off the cuff based on what y'all been saying. What do you think it started, and then we'll transition on some ways that we may be able to change the narrative. Okay, and so we'll start with Ricky.
Um, I think it doesn't matter where it started. It's where we at right now. You know what I'm saying? I, like I this ain't our fight. This not our fight, right? Um, as a man, if I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, why I gotta convince you? You see what I'm saying? This is our women, our children's jobs to understand, and this is a if we teaching our children respect and how to move as men and young ladies, right? It's the mother's job to pass on the importance of a father, right? Because like I said before, kids when they little, they selfish and they in their own world, just like most people are. They don't understand the lessons that are being passed down to them or how these things really affect. Okay, let me say this, right? So this example I want to use, right? A woman can be careless because she has a husband. Can we all agree? Right? Think about what I'm saying, right? So let's say your wife wanna go on a trip, right? The reason why she could plan that trip if she has a husband is because she has a husband that's taking care of the basics. Is that fair? Is so whose lesson is it to teach the kids that hey, we can go on this trip because I'm paying for it, or we can go on this trip because your daddy take care of everything else and allows me to pay for it, right? Whose responsibility is that? Is it my job as a husband, like, hey, y'all couldn't go on this trip if I went? How do that make me look as a man? That make me look like
An
I'm a bitch.
asshole. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Right? This is not our fight. The same way it's not it's not a good woman's fight to teach men. No, good men was supposed to show good men. Hey, look at this, look at that lady. That's a good woman. That's the type of woman you should be dealing with. But what's the messages, right? Everybody love these hoes, right? Everybody here, we all here to do what we are here to do, and it's not our fight to educate the children on how a daddy should be appreciated. That's a wife's job. That's a woman's job to show how important it is to have a man around the house that got your back in all situations, that provide a certain stability, a certain foundation, so y'all can move how she can move and get things done she want to move, right? Like I said, just because you go to the store to pick it up don't mean you bought it. It's not our job. And that's the whole problem. Everybody keep trying to push off responsibilities that don't belong to them onto the other parties. No, ladies, y'all was supposed to make your man look good. Y'all was supposed to build the reverences of the husband and what he provides in the home. Not me. All I got to do is do my job. Right? It's okay to I don't care about go ahead and get, hey, take your shine. I don't care, but let them know where it came from. That's all I got.
Anybody can go. I thought that was solid. What y'all got?
So,
Then
so the
I,
question is, I
then
mean, Ricky just went off. So, what's the question again? Oh, how do we fix it?
the
Are we doing
question
worry
is,
about
you can start with
it was
where was it started, or you can talk about how do we fix it.
right. So where it started, like I said, it really don't matter. Um, One thing I do disagree with Rick on is I think it's our job to fix it on anything moving forward. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. Rick likes to hold women accountable. I just don't think they're capable. You know what I'm saying? So the leadership has to be has to be on point, man. And once we get it together and stop passing the buck. Once men get like, hey, this is my problem to fix. The problems of the world are mine to fix. Then women don't have no choice but to follow suit. You know what I'm saying? But we can't pass it to women. They're just not capable of taking accountability that way. You know what I'm saying? And as long as we're expecting them to do that, no work is never going to get done. So I mean that's kind of how I feel about. But how it started, I mean, we could talk about that till we're blue in the face. You know what I'm saying? But where we need to go from here, men need to, for one, stop having kids out of wedlock and lead a family accordingly, man. And don't pick a woman that don't respect you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it just is what it is, man. And men need to take the bull by the horns and ride that thing. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
I would
Um,
like to know Dia's thoughts on.
I know you
I'm
see our
coming to
face
you.
crunch up.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm gonna come to you after that, CJ. But I did. What's your thoughts on what Prototype said?
Uh, the accountability thing is where my face crunched up, of course, because I'm a woman. But I don't even want to acknowledge what Prototype said because he's entitled to his opinion. But what I do want to acknowledge is where I think it came from as far as generationally and what I saw growing up. I think the narratives that we saw was that it was about the man in our household versus men in general. And I think what we consider success is what's jaded because my dad, like I said, was my first love. And according to society standards, he probably shouldn't have been. According to my mother, she kind of didn't understand why he was. But he was a nurturer more so than anything. He wasn't able to provide financially, but I wouldn't be the woman that I am if he wasn't the man that he was, even with his imperfections. So he was a addict, a heroin addict. However, he loved me exactly the way I needed to be loved. And he taught me the most important things that I needed to know in life, which was acceptance. And that was invaluable. So I don't think I think we just need to change what we consider success. I think women need to experience a man or love from a man in order to understand how important that is. I don't understand how women keep their children away from the father because he doesn't fit the description that society gives as far as what a dad should be. Like I said, it wasn't a typical environment that I grew up in. I came from the projects on the west side of Chicago, and that was the best place for me. And I am who I am because of that. And I was raised in that environment, and my dad was an addict in that environment, and he was perfect. I mean, aside drugs, that was his only shortcoming. He was one of the smartest people that I knew. He was well groomed. You wouldn't look at him and tell that he was an addict. So growing up in that circumstance, even though I had my first son before me and my husband got married, I would have never took my son from his father because his inability to provide anything that was just particularly financial. Because of the role that my dad played in my life. So I don't get it. And I think it's part of the programming. I think society is like Dwayne said, the purpose is to demasculate men. And what our perception of what a man should be, is that's an individual thought process, but a lot of it was generational. The women, my grandmother, she was a hustler, and her consensus as far as men was concerned was don't mess with my money and my food. She wasn't concerned about a man. So she used to tell me when I was growing up to find somebody that likes you. I couldn't really subscribe to that because I was still young and I had options, but I got it as I became an older woman. But had I took on that attitude, I probably wouldn't have developed into a wife as a result of that. I did have aunts that were married, so I saw different examples. Like I said, my mom was married 3 times, and there was a variety of personalities as far as men went. I think the third time was the charm. My dad was the great father, but he wasn't the best husband. So I understand why that ended up the way that he did. But it's an individual thing, and we have to grow up and decide what we want to create in our lives and understand that we are responsible for that and not allow our thought processes to be infiltrated by the collective as far as what the narratives that's being painted as far as men are concerned. And that's all men. So I digress.
No, that was good. What you got, CJ?
um well, like they said, where it started, it's debatable. Um but I would say it's not even just about fathers, like it's just about men. Like there's like we're just supposed to be beasts of burden, right? Case in point, in the last 30 days, I've lost two brothers of mine to gun violence, right? Um, and they left behind 8 children without a father, right? And I saw a Facebook Live video of one of them die, right? And what that put into perspective for me is that men nor women give a fuck about men. Like that's what I'm seeing. When when I was going through what I was going through, because I was losing it, bro. I'm still not right now. I'm just, it'll hit me at random times, right? But didn't nobody call and check on me, bro. And they knew what was going on. Hell, I hate to say it because I call niggas lame when they do it. But I was lashing out on social media. Nobody called me. You know what I'm saying? I had me and my guy, the guy, the thugs, the guys that wasn't worth a damn. His folks didn't pay for their funeral. Me and my guys did. He was nothing to the world. Rest in peace, Malcolm Garner. He was nothing to the world, bro. And he had 3 sons. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it goes deeper than fatherhood. It just men. It's like not enough of us care about men. I do think it's some onus is on us as men too. Because when I see my brother slipping, I should reach out to him and grab his hand, bro. And that nigga will be all right. That's the mentality. Especially where I can't speak for y'all. I'm just gonna speak for where I'm at. The mentality is shit, that nigga gonna be all right. I got my own shit to deal with. But let a woman break a damn nail. These niggas ready to pay to get a French tip done. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like we just don't care about men. That's where I'm at with it. The way we can change it, shows like this, the podcast I do. For Father's Day, every guy that I follow, because every guy I deal with, I follow them, I know them in real life. So I shared them in their kids and just gave quick testimonials for them.
Hey, first I want to say, sorry for your, what you're going through, bro.
100%.
Um, those times are hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sure we've all dealt with that kind of thing. Um, I think there are a lot of men that do care. Um, uh, but just ironically, this weekend, right? Not on purpose. I didn't go to Vegas for this event, but I walked into 100 Black Men of Excellence, and I guess they're having their yearly conference. and it was so beautiful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was me, my wife, and my 14-year-old son. We're just walking around and checking out different hotels, and we're in Caesar's Palace. And as we're walking through, we just see black people. You know, I don't know if y'all been to Vegas, but you don't see us like that. You know what I'm saying? So naturally, we start seeing us, and we just follow and like, wait, where do these black people coming from? We keep walking. We're going into it, and boom, we're in the middle of 100 black men of excellence. You know what I'm saying? So we're just confused about it. What's this? What's this event? And as we're trying to figure it out, I'm looking it up. Like, oh, I'm gonna definitely register for the chapter when I get back to the crib or whatever. As we're walking out, we see a group of kids, and some of the men see my son and like, "Hey, is he going to the outing?" And we're like, "We're not here for this. We just came up." They was like, "We don't care. They're having a youth outing. Send your son." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a beautiful. Like, we tried to send him. My son's just an introvert, and he's like, "Dad, don't be leaving me with people you don't know." But I was like, "Go, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, go hang out, like, cause all I do is see it as a positive moment, like, you know what I'm saying." But they didn't even know us. They didn't. We wasn't even there for that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have a badge on, the shirts. I'm dressed like I'm going to Hawaii. Like I'm colorful. Like, but all you see is black men in suits. You know what I'm saying? The kids got on suits. Everybody. It was beautiful, man. And we're out there. You know what I'm saying? I think there are some trying to make a difference, man. We just got to get in a certain. I've never heard of this group before until I ran into this situation. You know what I'm saying? But I think it's just stuff we just need to keep talking about and letting each other know, like, hey, there's support out here because we're not
They
as
in Memphis
alone
too.
as we think. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's really help out here, and you can't say that men don't care about. We really do. There's men out here that care. You know what I'm saying? But the information is just not getting passed or whatever, but you're really not as alone. You're not that alone. I understand you might feel isolated. You're going through something. You know what I'm saying? My cousin's sister died last week. I've called him every day. Like, I couldn't get there. You know what I'm saying? I've called him every day. Like, how you feeling? How's your emotions? You know what I'm saying? I'm asking him these questions. How are you going through this? How's your mom feeling? How's your mom making you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, in that, like, so you can't say that we're not out there to care about each other because we are, but you just got to maybe change the group or reach out, or, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you might have to say, hey, somebody help me. You know what I mean? Like, we make it so hard for people to celebrate us. Like Ricky said, like maybe 10 times already, we do our job. It's like we do our job, shut up, nobody, we don't want no congratulations. And that's how most people feel. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be tremendously selfless. Like, in the last 5 years, I've been like, I'm gonna think for myself a little bit and start enjoying life to the max. Like, I want my Father's Day to be just as big as a Mother's Day, if not bigger. My birthdays, I celebrate it like it's a holiday. I celebrate every holiday, everything I can. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm just not trying to live until the weekend. Go through the days like I can't wait till Friday, or not be celebrated, not enjoy the life I truly want to live. We got to get out of that thinking of um, I just want the basics and get what we really want.
And just to piggyback up what you're saying, um, we do in these spaces. We speak in generalities. Um, the guys that I rock with, I feel like they dropped the ball with what I was going through. But I love them to death, so it's not gonna be like we opposition now. But um, the guys I rock with do what you're talking about. The hundred, the was it? What is it? The 100 men? Because I think that
100 black men of excellence.
they're in Memphis too. So I've seen them downtown before. So yeah, you see it. It's just few and far between, and maybe that's because I think that's why I like Kevin Samuel so much, because the one thing that a lot of people missed was that he talked about black men controlling their own media, and that is something that we definitely have to grab by the horns. I think we have done a decent job at it, but we got a long way to go, because the narratives that have been on black men's back for forever are still there and they're prevalent. So that's what I was getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Dwayne and Martavis, did y'all go?
No, I haven't went yet. Well done, Martavius. Well done. Had the alligator arm getting down to that mute button.
He did.
No, no, that's as for where it started, I was thinking, like I think that's a good place to start. But I think for me, it would just be just sin, honestly and truly, just sin, because I think for dads to skip out on that responsibility takes a high level of selfishness. And it also can be not just from the dad, but also from the mom as well. So there's multiple pieces where sin comes in from the beginning. But as for where we're at now, as for how we fix it, I think courage is hard to come by nowadays, and especially like to stand apart and stand alone. I think there's the illusion that we're in the minority. And I think we men that actually stand in and handle up on their responsibility. I think they're in the majority. But the Bible does say, "Don't grow weary of doing good." And I think as we look around and there's all these pressures coming at men, like in general, like y'all said, it's not just husbands, it's men um, in general that are under attack. Like the mental health issue going on for men in this society is astronomical, but nobody pays attention to that. So from my standpoint, now we just need to be able to stand up, be men in a society that does not desires to be popular, or be husbands, which again does not desire to be us to be popular. As for the family, the nuclear family, there's not a desire for that to be popular. All these things that used to be at one point in time are no longer as they were. So I do believe it does play both as for where it comes from, or where it started, and then as for how do we handle it from here as we're going forward. So if you got to know where you're coming from to know where you're going.
Yeah, y'all said a lot, man. Man. Um, as far as how it started, man, you can go so many ways with that. I just my childhood, I was raised. A lot of people used to always say, like, I'm an 80s baby. Like, I was born there. So what I saw, like, just like number one, men need healing is number one. Heal and then get informed, because then you're making decisions not based on the past, not based on what uncle and grandpa and all these people did, because they just did what they did to survive. They had to get by. So for me, it's like first we need to be informed, man. So when you get on, listen to Prototype earlier, and he talk about like when somebody's going through, he go and he asking all these questions. That didn't happen by accident. That's happened by him actually going through something, probably going through some and getting healing for himself. Now he's informed, understanding like this deep rooted. Like if we don't address these things right now, I lost my mom at the age of 15. The first thing I did was shut down. Could nobody talk to me. I put everything up here in my mind, and it took a long time for these things to come out. And once that happened, like everything else would just go up here too. So if I didn't feel like dealing with nothing, it went up here, and that same pattern that I saw grew up. You revert to things that's going to help you not remember that. You're going to smoke weed. You're going to do whatever you need to do to not address that issue. And all it is a stone that's going to continue to grow. So for me, I think we need to get healing. And then I think we just need to get informed. I think it is our responsibility. I believe, and this is just me personally, everybody has a role and you have to play your role. So I don't expect my wife to tell my kids what kind of great father I am. I'm going to show them because they hear me getting a room is right across here. They hear everything that I'm saying. So if I'm lying, they probably come in and open that door and look at me. But at the same time, like I got to go out here and live these things as well. So for me, my social media, people know what I'm about. So when they see me, there is no guessing about these things that matter to me. It's no guessing about what type of man I am, because I'm gonna put it out there. And when you see me in real life, I have the people within my household that's going to validate those things. So for me, I think we just need to heal. I think we need to get informed, and I think we need to lead where we are. I think a lot of people try. Imagine me trying to be like Prototype. Like people just that's you're not authentic. That's not you. So stop trying to be that. So I think we try to see what other men are doing, and we try to get in their lane, and it just doesn't work for us to take us in a different direction where people see that you're not authentic. Now nobody wants to hear you. Now they're gonna write you off. Now they're gonna say, I can't believe what you're saying because your life don't add up to that. So for me, I think we just have to be authentic to who we are. So when we share these understanding on social media, like people are watching you. People don't like social media. I love it from the standpoint is I get to write that narrative. I get to determine what I'm putting out and how people perceive me. And I get to like actually go out and live those things out. So when I talk about raising my kids and doing these things, it's not just about this Zoom to hype myself up. Like I'm gonna actually go out and live this, because like my oldest right now, where our son Riley, he's 8 and he got about 10 more years for he's probably gonna be leaving the house. And I want him to understand like anything that's happened to you by the grace of God, it's gonna be because you made a decision or a bad decision, good decision, bad decision. It's gonna be based on how I raised you. So for me, it's teaching our kids how to think for themselves. And for me, like I explain things to my kids. Like we have this family huddle, crazy. This is the last thing I'll leave you guys with, right? And it's teaching our kids how to think. Nobody taught me like how to sit down because they thought you're just a kid. They kids stay in your place. Don't sit at and talk, look in grown folk mouth. All they used to tell us, and I hated that because I just listen. I ain't never say that. But our son now, every time I try to explain something to him, and it got to the point when we asked them questions at the end of the day, and I had what's one thing that we can do better as parents, and he said, when you tell me to do this, explain it to me so I can understand it. And I said, well, you don't, I thought I was already being too hard on it. He said, explain it so I can understand it. And I was like, so you getting what I'm saying? I'm just not communicating in a way that you can actually go out and change these things. You're actually trying, but I'm not, as a parent, communicating in a way that's going to help you be effective in this area and actually grow. So it hit me right then, as a parent, as a dad, as a father with society. Sometimes we do things, we're a great father, we're trying to tell people, but the way we're communicating it, they admit they can't read it like that. So they're seeing something else. So sometimes we have to change up what we're doing. And I think that's where that information come in. That's what getting on shows like this, where you actually see how we supposed to be doing things. And last thing I'll leave with you guys with, I promise, like me, how I grew up, like my uncles, my granddad, these was men, like these was leader of men's. But the one thing that I hated and the one thing that I did not like was the fact that they could teach me hustling. They could teach me everything in the world. But the one thing they could not teach me how to do was leave an inheritance for my kids. And I was like, if what you teaching me, it's going to pass down and I can spend that in just a couple years after you gone, then you doing me an injustice. Like, what can I do with that? So for me, when I talk about my kids and explaining things and unlearning a lot of stuff and teaching them what I didn't know, I'm thinking like these are gonna be for your grandkids. These are things that's gonna pass down. These are things up here in this moral warehouse that can't nobody take from you. If you lose something, you're not worried about it because you understand values, principles, morals. If you got that, then you can go and get anything else back. So I love my uncles. I love every man in my family. Like I said, they was men of men. But the one thing that they not could teach me to do was those things, and those are the things that I'm learning now as a 36-year-old man, that I'm trying to teach my kids, that I'm trying to teach other guys. And it's hard because you have to teach it and live it at the same time. So you're going to make mistakes and people are going to look and say, well, you're not changed because of this. And it's like, it's a process. I'm learning these things, but at the same time, there's so many things from my childhood that I'm trying to unlearn. And it's just part of that process. So for me, it's about just staying in your lane. So when I post on social media, like it's going to be the things in the narrative that I'm trying to write. And the guys that reach out and talk and follow me and do these things, these are what I'm going to teach these guys to do the same thing as well. Because you can't change how society see you. You can't change how the people wherever you are see you, but you can change how your kids see you, how your spouse see you, how your family see you, how your friends and the people in your community see you. You can't control those things by your actions and by you just learning things from yourself and just unlearning a lot of things from your childhood.
That's what's up. Did anybody want to add?
I do.
Go ahead, man.
Um, to I think that we need to remember that we are at war in general,
Okay.
as people. And I'm not religious, but I do know the scripture in the Bible that says we fight not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and spiritual wickedness in high places.
Mm-hmm.
And today is the day, and we're in the quickening. So we need to be mindful of the narratives that we subscribe to. And on my personal journey, y'all know that me and my husband been together since we were kids, 13 and 14 years old, right? He lived across the street. His father got high with my father.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know when I had my son, the man that my husband would be. That was a chance that I was taking. He's
Okay.
been to the penitentiary 2 times. I was with him both times. We overcame all of that. The life that we live right now, eyes have not seen. And that's because he made a decision to step up. I think we give up too easy.
Uh-oh.
I didn't require that. I knew what I was willing to do, but I didn't know the man that he was.
Hmm.
He knew. And I gave him an ultimatum to marry me. I didn't know if he would, but he absolutely stepped up. But what I had to do was step back when he wasn't walking in the potential that I knew that he had.
Wow.
I had to make a decision that was unacceptable. And I knew that if I
Hmm.
accepted him the way that he would never change. So despite me being on the other side of the door on my knees crying, I didn't open it. And I told him, when you need to come back with a job and a ring. And that's exactly what he did. He came back with a job and a ring. And ever since then, it's nothing that he's been able to visualize that we haven't collectively been able to accomplish. And this is all a work in progress. As Martavia said, you don't know. You don't know. It's a chance that you taking, and you take that chance. Like, all of us are imperfect, but we've overcome so many obstacles. I don't feel like it's anything that we could do. This man, his real father, he doesn't know. He was raised by his stepfather, and he was an addict as well. So he didn't have a guide. Like, none of us do. It ain't no book to tell us how to move and what to be. But he dug deep and he pulled it up out of him. And if I'm not proud of anything else, even the fact that he's my husband, I'm proud that he's a father and he stepped up to the plate in every way possible. And I love him, and I'm grateful for that. And women need to. I know potential means you ain't nothing right now, but sometimes you gotta see past the surface, and you be the change that you want to see. I changed my life first, and I tried to live by example because neither one of us knew, you know. And I just want to salute my husband for stepping up to the plate.
That's what's up, dear. I'm appreciating the things and nuggets that you're providing this evening, as well as being transparent and sharing with us the insides of what you're saying. The statement that I got from what you said, which was good, is women need to step back when men don't step up.
Oh, absolutely. When it's
Right.
unacceptable, it needs to be unacceptable.
Right. And I'm what I mean by that, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, I'm talking about before you laying down with a dude. You know what I'm saying? That if he not stepping up uh, to be responsible enough to commit to you, then it doesn't make sense for you to lay down with the dude, right? And it could prevent a lot of frustration and turmoil in the end, right?
Mhm.
And and then additionally, you said that there's not a lot of examples. That's a there is an example, it's just not presented to people. So for example, I would lean to because I'm a believer, I would lean to our heavenly father. I mean, he's the dopest example of what a father is, you know. I mean, he came down as Jesus, and then he lived a life and gave examples all day long, of how that's one of the ways that I learned and how I should treat my wife and how I should treat my kids. I mean, there's scripture all over that talks about how in Deuteronomy 6 it talks about how you should talk every day to your kids about the scripture, that you should teach them the principles of life. I mean, the Psalms is all about that. Proverbs, same thing about how a young man should live his life in accordance to pursuing his purpose, and then women basically don't chase after women. Like that's even in scripture, you know. I think it's important for men, like CJ was saying, that even if it's like, first of all, I think Matavia said it well, lead from within. But I also would say that even though you're leading within, you definitely still need to lead on the outside, because we recognize that some people have made some bad decisions in choosing some bad men, right? And some men have not stepped up to the plate as well. So there are single mothers, and I'm thinking to myself now, like, yes, she may be a single mother, but can I help it as it relates to uh, talking to her son, you know, and how can I be better? And that leads me to I don't know if y'all saw Dr. Umar on Daily Wrap Up Crew. Daily Wrap Up Crew was talking to Dr. Umar about the state of black society, so to speak. And one of the statements that he said, and I'll get y'all take on it, is that he would blame men for where we are in today's society, um, and and so he didn't really leave it to talk about the women. He said that if men would come together and put together something that would help all these Pookies and Ray Rays not be Pookies and Ray Rays, then we can change society from that perspective. What do you say on that?
Let me jump in. Dude, Cap. I'm just gonna just keep it all the way 100 with you, because I've seen him literally say the opposite thing. Right. Um, what about football coaches? What about youth coaches? What about the camps that even in Memphis this is going on, right? Um, but he's not completely wrong with what he said at the end. Was basically the fact that the reason we are where we are because it's somewhere men dropped the ball. You can't deny that. I can't because, and my dad would tell you he dropped the ball with my mother and me. You know what I'm saying? I would say I dropped the ball in who I had a child with. It is what it is, right? I'm dealing with doing what I can, but um, it do start with us, and I'm a Christian. You know what I mean? So I know what I'm supposed to do as a man, and if I'm looking at the landscape of men, there are great men that I know that I respect with the utmost. My uncle just left, right? Um, but I do look at the landscape of the black community in particular, and bro, I'm disgusted. And I'm seeing guys participate. It's not just women. I'm a photographer too, so and I do late night clubbing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the shit I see. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the women off the chain. You know what I'm saying? But the man right behind them. You did what I'm saying? Indulging in all this shit, and they'll be the same guys rapping to these songs and in these videos doing it with them. And when you have something to say about it, um, they'll pull the queen card on you. That's still a queen, but when when he with his guys, she a hoe. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's a lot of guys out here, bro, that's just not handling business. And I don't know if it's the majority. I don't know. I don't know everybody. I can't tell you. All I'm saying is I see too much of the debauchery. And if we talking about men leading, shit, I mean, it's just not happening. Not enough. The men I know, yes. The men I respect, yes. But I'd be lying if I didn't say I didn't see a whole lot of BS out here. I do, especially in the nightlife.
I'm so sick of this conversation. Like, if y'all don't mind, I all I can do is what I'm here to do. I cannot control your perception. That's where y'all keep missing the point at, right? We can come with all this anecdotal arguments of how stuff's supposed to go, but how do stuff really go? Good guys finish last, right? Stepdaddies ain't nothing, right? You simply, hey, you doing what you supposed to do, right? So y'all again asking men to do something they have no control over. Your perception of me. I could be the best man in the world. I could do everything within my power and my ability to be right by you and by the family. But if you don't look at me a certain way, I'm still the same person to you. This is not a man problem, it's a values problem. What do people value? Just like what CJ just said. This is what's crazy to me, right? Let me tell y'all a story real quick, right? I know this guy got 7 kids, 7 of them, right? Different baby mamas, every single 2 kids by one, different baby mamas for the rest of them, right? He go see his kids one time. It's you a great father. It's like a retard putting his pants on, right? A man could take care of his kids take care of his kids and other people's kids, right? For their lifetime, for an eternity. And it's that's what he's supposed to do. How many of y'all heard stories like this before? Or am I just making this up? It's a value thing. And no matter what y'all say, right? That's like I said at the beginning. I can only do what I'm supposed to do. I can only be right because it's the right thing to do. That's it. That's all. But the perception is not going to change because people don't see value in fathers. They don't see value in husbands. They don't. This is facts. Men have been being men since the beginning of time, and not all of them. Look, I'm so tired of this argument. The game don't change, only the players. The same way it is right now is the same way it is now. It's just people see more of it. That's all. That's what social media is. People see more of it. But in the melanated community, right, the narrative is already hit. It's already locked in. Right. So what y'all asking us to do as men is to fix something we had nothing to do with. Nothing. We pay for the sins of our fathers. But we need to change the narrative. We need to change the conversation. No, people need to change how they value a man that actually handles his business. People need to change their idea of what a real man is. And everybody's not going to do it. That's why I say, hey, be careful who you choose as a wife. Be careful. Right? But like I said, we need, and I said this before, my boy Proto, when you write, my guy. When you write, you write. But if women are children, we need to have a different conversation. If women are not able to make adjustments, if no matter what, they're not able to be held responsible for their mentalities and or actions, we need to start having different conversations. We need to start having conversations, fellas. Why is you laying down with this child? Why are you allowing this child to raise your child? Somebody's lying. Could we please get to the truth? Please. All these conversations are a waste of time until we get into the truth. If you are in a marriage, you know if your woman is a woman. Humble Dad, did you marry a woman or a child?
A woman, bro.
How about you, Martavius?
Oh, woman.
Prototype? Dwayne. And I think D is a fine woman up there. Right? So we need to start having real conversations. If not, let's stop talking. Let's talk about the Flash or, the DC universe or Marvel, some other shit that's entertaining. Right? But we need to stop shirking responsibility where it's not owed. And this is not our responsibility. My job as a father is to be a father. My job as a husband is to be a husband. My job as a man is to be a man. It's my wife's job to have reverence to me. It's just like the marriage conversation. Y'all keep asking married men why you should get married. The women's supposed to be convincing y'all of that. Every man know he got to risk it all to get married. Why are you asking me? I can't. What I'm gonna tell you about how my girl do me and how she make my day? That ain't none of your goddamn business. It's a woman's job to convince you to risk it all, not mine. But why you think marriage is where it's at right now? Why? Because women ain't convincing men. They ain't worth it to risk it all. Who out here convincing it? And supposedly what they say is this: the group of them is so little that they shouldn't even exist. Will somebody please pick a lie, please? That's all I'm asking everybody to do. If we gonna pick a lie, could we stick to it? Or can we just tell the truth? What are we gonna tell it? Y'all, the truth is, look, you're not perfect. I'm not perfect. All of y'all in survival mode. Every single one of us is in survival mode. Just because you have more money doesn't make it any better. Every single one of y'all get up in the morning and go do something, whether it's for you or somebody else, to get $1 so you can eat.
Look, I want to say something about what you're saying, brother, because I think this is where we. I'm not gonna say. Let me not say. Let me just say me. Goddamn me. I have strayed away from having the gender conversation. I've grown tired of it. I'm not gonna lie to you, but where I struggle, I believe for me, is when I hear the word leader, that I'm supposed to be a leader. I hear that I have to get it right. I can't make a mistake, and if I do, everything is my fault. That's what's sold to me. I can't speak for everybody, but that's what I was taught.
You're
I
not
wouldn't say
gonna
that.
get it right all the time. I talk in again. I need y'all to understand where my basis is from. I'm from a guy who's willing to sacrifice for my family. Right? I'm a guy who's willing to get it wrong 100 times to get it right once. Right? When I'm talking about me and my relationship, because that's the only reference I got, guys. And the stuff I see, that's the only what I say and what I do may not work for y'all. I need to say that and be transparent. Right? But listen to what I'm saying. With my wife, it's my job. I don't my like you said, speaking for me, my job as a man is to be the foundation, to be the dam, to be the rock to hold everything together in case something goes awry. Right? That means if it requires me to sacrifice, so be it. Right? Because me personally, in my mind and the way I think, I understand that for my woman to be in a certain space or a certain comfort, she is, but because of the way she was raised, the things she went through, right? I have to provide a certain level of stability to her so she can let go of her bullshit, her traumas, right? The things that require these women to become the women they are because they either picked a bad baby daddy or they put themselves in some type of. Is that my fault? No, but I understand a woman I picked. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Right now, I understand how everybody wants to have this so-called fairy tale that, oh, your girl a virgin, or she ain't never slept with nobody, or she ain't have no kids. If you can find that, by all means, salute. But that don't mean you ain't gonna be in the same shit that everybody else is in. That don't mean it, right? I operate within real time in the real world. So again, what I'm saying is, as far as what CJ said, because I chose and I understand my wife, like I said, I vetted her. We talked, we got down to the dirty bullshit that nobody want to talk about. I understand my place in our relationship so she can feel safe. And I'm not saying it's right. Y'all understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I understand the woman I married. And that's what it is at the end of the day. Nobody wants to understand. You don't want to understand your partner. You want your partner to fit what you want into this spot, into his spot, da 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 da. Now it's some shit. And again, my wife's so wonderful. I love her to death. We gonna die. Hey, you know what our talks are, Lady Humble Dad? Hey, I hope we die together. Right? Don't let her go before me because I'm going bananas, especially if it's some shit that somebody had a party in. I'm going bananas. You see what I'm saying? And I'm sure some shit she has to show me, as far as me, for me to do the things I do so she could. Y'all see what I'm saying? Right? But nobody wants to do this anymore. No one cares. It's all about what you do for me, what you do for me. Instead of both of us just saying, hey, this is fucked up about you. This was fucked up about me.
That would be a good talk. That's a good way to start vetting process for sure.
Right? And this is what I need from you. Right? But I'm not gonna ever put a responsibility that's not hers on her. It's not her job. Take out the trash. And that's me being, real basic, right? But that's not your job. We really need. And like I said, if we're gonna treat our women, I don't give a fuck about and this ain't no disrespect, Matarvis. I know your wife's Caucasian, right? Shout out to y'all. Love is love, right? But I'm talking about our people, and if somebody, and this is everybody who you choose to deal with, Mexican, Spanish, Chinese, Latin, I don't care, right? Y'all got to understand each other, and no one wants to understand. Y'all talk about all this communication shit, what you should know, when y'all don't even understand what that person really trying to tell you. You don't understand it. No one takes the time anymore because of social media, and you feel you got all these. I don't care about that, right? We gotta learn to understand each other. Your traumas are still your traumas. Just because you go to a therapist or you talk to somebody don't mean they go away. They still there. They just like what Dia said, West Side, 96 in Luella. Right? Those are the things that make you you. And y'all think by going to talk to somebody like they just disappear. Oh, that ain't me no more. No, you still the same person you was. Those are the things that make you you. I love my wife for what she is and isn't. I need y'all to hear that shit. For everything she'll ever be and what she'll never be, I still love her. That's what marriage is about. That's what rocking with somebody is about. But I cannot control her perception of me. I could be the best person in the world. If her value system was fucked up, she'll still look at me as a fucked up person. Now, what you say to that, Rick? Because she don't rock with my value system, I ain't gonna rock with her. That's why I tell y'all be careful. But if we talking about on a general as a whole, from the shit we see, these people value system ain't shit. It ain't shit. So y'all talking about changing that. That's what, how you gonna change that? How you gonna change that? Because if not, you can't. Then all of us up here, we last of a dying breed. Last of a dying breed.
What a take. What a take. That I think the part is that as everybody is, I think Montavia said it, everybody got a part to play. Right. If you look at I think it's First Corinthians 13, it talks about the body and it talks about how if you're the hand, you shouldn't be worried about being the foot. You know, every limb and every part of the body has a role to play. And so that's similar also to what Ricky is communicating. What I've been trying to communicate too is that you have to do your job, right? Nobody's marriage is going to look the same, right? Nobody's marriage is going to look the same. But I do say that there are two things that you want to be able to identify within an individual that you're seeking. Since we're transitioning to that, is that women need to respect men that you're going to be with, and men need to love the woman that you're going to be with, right? And if you're not able to see yourself doing that, then y'all really got to stop wasting so much time with each other, you know. And it's unfortunate of where we are, but it's a part of the programming, because if you dig deeper into it, and you'll see that marriage is the cornerstone in which communities are built. And so therefore a community can stand against anything. A tribe of people can stand against anything. You look at Babylon, I think it was the people of Babylon, they was trying to they got so well together that they was trying to build a tower to heaven, right? And then you have the situation now where we're simply divided. That's why it's called a gender war for whatever, because men are thinking one thing, women are thinking one thing, and they're not coming together to say, you know what, we can come together to solve our differences. I like what Ricky said. He said, I love her for what she is and what she will never be. That's a superb line, because oftentimes we try to change the person that we're with. I know I found myself trying to do that. Um, when in all honesty, what needs to happen is you just need to accept the person that they are. And if there's a change that needs to take place, you can always voice it, but it shouldn't be one in which you're gonna die on a hill on unless it jeopardizing the family, so to speak, right? And so that in my estimation is why it is important for dads to be so involved in raising their kids. If you decide to, like see not decide, but in CJ's situation, he said that he chose wrong, but that's not gonna stop him from trying to be a dad to his kid, right? And so that's the issue that I have with dads that are saying, "Well, I don't like the mother of my kid, so I'm not gonna be there." But it doesn't make any sense because you're actually not hurting the mom, you're hurting your kid, right? And so I think the way that you can appreciate dads, and I'll say the last thing here, and if anybody wants to chime in, you can. The way that you can appreciate your dad or dads is to see what it is that they enjoy. Uh, I think before that, just saying a thank you is good is good enough to some men. Another way to appreciate them is I was talking to this lady today, and she said her husband's a gamer, and all he did was play games the entire day yesterday. And she cooked him a meal and just let him do what he do.
You
Right?
know what I would have loved?
What you
A SD card for my camera. You know what I'm saying? That would have been great.
what are you asking that from me?
No, I'm saying, well, if you want to get me one, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm probably not
I
gonna do
got
that.
you, bro. I got you, bro. Don't even worry about it. I got you, bro.
That's what's well. You need to let one of your ladies know, bro. You know
Hold
what I'm saying?
on, I feel attacked, bro. I feel attacked. One of my ladies. What do you mean?
You didn't deny
Touche, pussycat.
it. But this has been dope, man. Listen, I really, really, and always will appreciate the time that y'all provide to me and to the people that watch. This is definitely one of those that need to be played back. There was so many jewels that were dropped. Dia, where can they find you? Dia, where can they find you?
I'm sorry. You
No
can
worries.
find me on Instagram at a rose from rubble. But I wanna say something before we go.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
I think, like you said, it is a gender war, and we need to remember that. And we got to take personal accountability. Everything starts with self. Nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. And if you don't understand that, you gonna get it's some bad apples in the bunch. You got to take responsibility for making the bad choice and become better. And I want to salute CJ for his growth and not having to respond to the situation that he encountered uh the other day. But that's what it's about. It's about personal development. We got to become better before we can attract better. And we have to understand that everything is about what you attracting. My life didn't change until I changed. And I had to take responsibility for all the mistakes that I made, for everything that I was and everything that I wasn't. And that changed my trajectory. That changed where I wanted to go. So we have to be what we looking for. And if you're not willing to do that, then you're gonna keep getting what you always get. Period.
Good stuff. Martavius, where can they find you?
At Martavius Young, we're kind of building something out right now, so pretty excited about that. Within the next couple weeks, we're doing something totally different, and like I said, I just appreciate you guys, man. And just what Ricky said, we're last of a dying breed, and part of my whole goal is to like don't try to recreate that. Like create a new breed, create a new rare breed. So when you talk about, I'm a project baby, but I don't raise my kids with the project mentality, with the project mindset. I take that, reshape it, get the lesson out of it, teach that to my kids because I went through that. And if you can make it through the projects, I don't care where it's from. Like you can do a lot of things to come up out of that. So I don't want to raise them with that mentality. At the same time, that's still part of who I am. but they have no idea about that, and they never will. And I don't want them to, because that's not their lifestyle. I'm gonna teach them to take what I went through, so they're not building from like my ground floor. They're building from the roof that I'm trying to lay for them. So it's about taking, teaching to your kids and continuing to move on. So I just appreciate, a lot of times I get on here and I just get caught up listening what you guys have to say. Because like I said, I'm still learning and I'm still unlearning a lot of stuff that I learned growing up. So I can just get caught up listening to you guys, just full of wisdom and just insight, and just showing me and giving me a different perspective on life and just how things is in a bigger community. Because sometimes we can, South Dakota, we got our little bubble up here, and I try to stay within that. So when we talk about generalities, like I can't necessarily speak to it. I just stay in our lane and we continue to build. But like you said, sometimes you have to get outside of your lane and your household, and you have to go out and do it for other people. So I think it was good seeing my brother and my sister here just talking about what's going on in the community. And it was just a reminder, like, some things are still the way they used to be, and a lot of things we can't change. But if you get out and you be active and you continue to speak up and do things, you can be a part and play your part in changing those things. So I just appreciate you guys for getting on here and speaking your truth, man, because that's really what we need more than anything. Just speak your truth. And when you do that, if you people got open mind, they're gonna receive what you have to say, and they're gonna respect that, and they're gonna try to make those necessary changes. So if anything, I just respect the fact that you guys don't get on here and sugarcoat and just tell people what they need to hear. You get on and speak your truth, and it's authentic to who you are. So I just appreciate that about you guys. And again, I'm just Martavius Young on all platforms.
What's up, prototype?
Prototype Dad podcast, man. You can find us on all the platforms. We're on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Google Podcasts, iHeart, or whatever platform that you can find us on. You know what I'm saying? That's out. We're there. Um, but yeah, man, just to leave off with a little something, man. Just men, we need to like step up and take accountability. I don't want to say that step up because that's been like the triggering thing. Y'all know how every time that's been said, it's like it's grinding my gears because I hate that we're saying men got to step up. You know what I'm saying? No, it just I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm gonna come up with something on how that makes me feel, and I'm be able to express it next week. But nah, man, just do our thing, man, and stop making excuses. That's all.
CJ, on you.
Um, you can find me on YouTube. It's 5100 CJ. Instagram 5100 CJ. The 5100 podcast is spelled like you see 5100 on my name. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. And what I would leave today's panel with, I would say maybe we need to listen more than we talk. Because I hear a lot of people, especially in these spaces, we know what's going on. That's why I took a hiatus for real, for real. Everybody knows everything. And I don't know if y'all notice this about me. I try to make sure I do this because I'm only 31. I tend to shut the fuck up sometime and listen. Like when Ricky was speaking, when Prototype was speaking, when they were talking to me, like I wasn't like, but what about this? I just wanted to listen because whether I agree with everything they said, I was just gonna pick out the nuggets from it and apply it to my life. And everybody on this panel that spoke tonight, you know what I'm saying? I took a lot from it. And I hate that channels like Humble Dad don't get enough love. We love the drama. We love the hot button topics, but these are the conversations that really will move things forward. But I don't know. I guess we just got to do a better job of promoting on my end. You know what I'm saying? To do more to help my brother. And really have camaraderie with each other, like real camaraderie. Like we dropping numbers in the back chat. All right, cool. Now if I text you and you don't text me back, I'm on your ass when I talk to you next time.
Ricky, what I do? What I do, Rick?
Don't text me, CJ. Call, bro. Don't
Exactly.
text me. Call.
All right, cool. Bet.
It's on you, Dubs.
Hey man, y'all can find me here on YouTube, Ricky Williams #TWT, Instagram at R_Dubs. I'm getting pretty good at that reels thing, so I'm dropping reels like that. Man, what I got to say, man, that every single guy that's bought a kid a meal, walked the kid home from school, fixed the kid tire, tied his shoes, y'all need it, bro. Y'all need it, bro. Don't let these people tell you like Y'all need it, bro. And thank y'all for being men, bro. Thank y'all for being men. And I don't think people say that enough. Thank y'all for being the men y'all are. That's all I got.
On you, Dwayne, what you got? Here you go with that again, bro. Like you was doing so well this evening.
I was on mute the whole time. No kidding. No, you could catch me on Humble Dad podcast whenever I actually make it here on time. But yeah, Dwayne Jones Photography .com as well.
Any last words, bro?
No. Just an honor to
Wait. You just said no, and then you about to say something?
Yeah, no last word like that. I just wanted to compliment y'all. It is an honor being in the presence of people who desire to be great. So, yeah, does that count?
Yes.
Last words. All right, appreciate the opportunity.
That's exactly what last words mean. What you got? You wanted to say something, CJ?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna ask him what he shoot with.
Oh, he said, "What do you shoot with?"
Oh yeah. The only thing that you need to shoot with a Canon.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Nikon. I figured that one. I saw it coming a mile away.
Sony.
I'll pray for you. Don't even worry about it.
I use a Sony, man.
Oh,
Hey,
Sony.
If you go check out my pictures for my graduation or engagement pictures, Dwayne did those.
Yeah, I'm gonna check them out.
That's a bit. Well, it's been real. It's been dope. It's been fun. I appreciate y'all. We out here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. HumbleDad.life if you want to catch any of the merchandise. And we'll see y'all same bat channel, same time. Until next time, we out here. Deuces.
The boy is dangerous.
Bad feeling about this.
You don't seem to understand something.
The thing that I like most about being a dad is that I see that I'm about to impact the world.